So following on from the last tutorial where we were working with DB Manager, we've now come back into the Easy Publish setup, and you can see here we've got the data initialization page. And as you can remember, when we were working with DB Manager, we had the database type, which was MySQL, we had the server name, which was localhost, a username of root, and there was no password set. So we've got everything the same here now as we had when we were working with the DB Manager, so we can just click next. And if everything's happened okay, it should allow us to go on to the next page of the installation of the actual setup, which is this language support page. If it didn't allow it because there wasn't the right user or password inside the setup, then it would obviously give you an error message that would say that you need to actually specify a user and a password. So we'd have to go back to DB Manager and actually put those details in. But we've kept it just the same as localhost root and no password. In this page, very simple stuff, just actually choosing the language that we're going to use for our installation. We can choose a primary language and additional languages as well. Obviously only one primary language, but as many additional languages as we like. You'll see now that in the summary that we've got here, we've got ImageMagick as our image system, SMTP setup, database is MySQL, language will get filled next when we click the next button, and the summary will show that the language is now English GB. And then from here, we've got the site type page. And this is where we've got some templates that Easy Publish has installed for us that allows us to take some very quick and easy choices to set up pretty powerful sites. If you actually rub your cursor over the top of any one of these icons, you'll see that you'll get a little message box that will pop up that will tell you some of the specific design characteristics and features of that particular site type. And the one that I'm actually going to go for will be news. So we'll click on news, then we'll go to next. And having chosen the site type, we now get the facility to be able to actually choose some functionality for that site as well. So you can see here, if we just slide down the page a little bit, we've got various different added functions that we can use within our news site. We've got contact us. I'm going to select all of these: contacts, files, forums, image gallery, links, polls, products, and weblog. So we're going to go for absolutely everything, and then we'll be able to look through each of those different functions when we're actually using the site in later tutorials. So I'll just click next here. You can see that our time barrow is now on 57% complete, and now it's just jumped up to 71, so we're well on the way to finishing here. All we need to do now is actually choose the database that we're going to use. When we went through earlier on and we were looking at using localhost with the username as root and without any password, Easy Publish then looks at all available databases that can be connected to using the username root and without any password, and it's given us the list here. So again, we've got all of these different databases that you saw within DB Manager. We chose to create our own one, which was EasyDB. So I'm just going to select that, and we'll click next. And now inside here, we're just going to put in some site administration details. You'll notice that the login name has been set for us, and we can't change it. It's set to admin. So we're going to have to use that admin login when we actually go to the back end of the site when we finish this part of the installation. But for the rest of the details, we can put in our own information. And just put in a password, and I'm going to call it Easy Password. It's all one word. So EZ Password. And just click next. So one of the last stages that we need to do here is just to specify whether we want to send a registration to Easy Systems. I'm going to uncheck the box and just click next. And you can see it's just taking a few more seconds to finish off the rest of the installation, because this is the very last process that we've had to run through. The next page we should get is the message page that's telling us that everything's been finished, it's all up and running, and we can get on with playing around with the front end and the back end of the site. So there you go, we've got the finished page. We've got two options down here, two links. We can go for the user site or the admin site. I'm going to first of all click on the admin site, which will take me through to the back end and give me a login page. But I'm also going to come back to this finished page, and I'm going to click on user site as well. The reason why I've done it in that order is that the admin page takes a few seconds to set up, whereas a user site will take about anywhere between 30 and 60 seconds as it sets up the templates and so on. So I can now go into admin, and I can put in my details, which were admin, remember, is the login that was given for us, and then the password was Easy Password. And I click on login, and as that's just going through, I can go back to the user site, and there you go, it's finished. Everything's up and running. So this is the default site, the default news site, with all of those different functions that we selected, which was contact us, contacts, files, forums, galleries, and so on. But essentially we've achieved what we set out to accomplish, which was to install easy publish on a Windows desktop. And now we've got the front end of the website, which is this area here. We've also got, if we go down to the toolbar at the bottom, you can see that we've got the back end in there as well, and we'll be taking a greater look at that in some future tutorial. One thing to note, if we actually close down these windows and we want to bring them back up again, you can just double click on that icon button that I mentioned earlier on, and that will bring us up to, shows the front end of the website. If we want to go to the back end of the website, we can just do a Control N. So now we've got two sites or two browsers running, showing the same front end of the website, and in here we can just put in /news_admin, because we have the news type site that was here. We're trying to get through to the admin area. If we press return, you see we've now got the login again, where we can put in admin, and the password was easy password, and we're in. So we've got the front end of the site and the back end of the site.